Hi guys, today we're going to talk about dot plots and distribution, and the I can statement we're working on is I can describe the distribution of data on a dot plot or histogram. And we'll talk about histograms later on in this unit, but the distribution is going to be the same for a dot plot or histogram in the way we describe it. So let's begin. We know that a dot plot is a type of data representation that shows numbers on a number line that have X's or dots, okay? So, or other symbols. Sometimes it might be like a little star, a little square, a little triangle. But the point is that it's got a number line with X's or dots or some other symbol to show the frequency. So if I'm looking at this frequency table here for the cafeteria that offers items at 6 different prices, John counted how many items were sold at each price for 1 week. Make a dot plot of the data. So let's begin by just reviewing how to make a dot plot. Remember, there are 3 items that are priced at $1.50, 3 at $2, and so on. So make sure that, be careful as you're putting your dots in. Pause the video and create your dot plot. Okay, let's see how you did. Don't forget that your dot plot needs to have a title and labels. So for the cafeteria sales and then price. Okay, now dot plots do more than just show us frequency. Dot plots give us a visual representation of the distribution or the shape that the data forms. So here are the 3 big ones that we're going to talk about. The first is uniform. The uniform distribution, in a uniform distribution, all of the bars or all of the stacks of dots are going to be about the same. Now notice, we've got an extra one up here, we're missing one down here, but for the most part, if I were to look at this really quickly, it would look like all the bars are the same height. The second one is a symmetric distribution, and you've learned symmetry before. So if you could draw a vertical line down the center of your dot plot, and the left and the right side are about the same, pretty much. Now your symmetric distribution may not be a perfect symmetric graph, but it's going to be pretty close to being symmetric where both the left and the right side are a mirror image of each other. And then the third type is a skewed distribution. And so this is where the data is not uniform or it's not symmetric. It's going to be skewed one way or the other. Now, in this one, we would say this skewed distribution is skewed left because the tail or the shorter stack or the shorter part of the graph is going off to the left-hand side. So we would say that this one is skewed left. Now, if the tail were on this side of the graph, we would say it's skewed to the right. So let's look at the 2 graphs we have here. Okay, and these graphs are some junior and senior students who are asked how many minutes they spend studying in one day, okay, rounded to the nearest 5 minutes. So those are the results that we've got here in our frequency table. So now we made dot plots for the juniors and the seniors, and let's look at their distribution. These juniors, for the most part, seem to have a pretty symmetric graph. If I drew a line down the center of it, they're about the same on both sides. I know these guys are kind of a little bit out, but for the most part, we would call this one a symmetric distribution. Now, the seniors, theirs seem to slope up a little bit. So we would say for the most part that this one, even though it goes down a little bit here, it's pretty much skewed to the left because the tail goes off to the left. So now it's your turn. Here we have a data table to show the number of miles run by members of 2 track teams during one day. We've made the dot plots for you. Now you need to determine the type of distribution for each team and explain what the distribution means for each one. So pause the video, try team A, try team B. Okay, let's see how you did. For team A, the data for team A seems to be a symmetric distribution. For team B, the data for team B showing a skewed left distribution because it's going down to the left. The tail, or the shorter end of our hill here that's formed by our graph, is on the left side. And A is symmetric because if I drew a line down the center, this one's an exact mirror image. Try this one. Here's Team C, and the members are shown below. Make a dot plot, then determine the type of distribution and explain the meaning. Okay, let's see how you did. Here's your dot plot. And because all of the stacks seem to be about the same, we would say the data for Team C shows a uniform distribution. Oops, sorry. All right, let's look at number 4. The frequency table shows the number of siblings of each student in a class. Use the table to make a dot plot of the data and describe the distribution. So pause the video, make your dot plot, and describe the distribution. Okay, let's see how you did. Here's your dot plot. Now notice that the number of siblings seems to go down in frequency the more siblings you have. So for this one, the data on this dot plot is showing a skewed right distribution because it kind of starts off high here on the left and goes down towards the right. So the tail is on the right portion of this graph. So it's skewed right. We are done with this video. You can go back and watch any portion as many times as you need, but don't forget to WSQ in your notes, and have a good day.